Hi everyone. I wanted to come back and address a mistake that I actually made when solving the practice midterm. So here we are on question 4, and we're going to look at the first part here. I made a little bit of a mistake when copying something down and writing out my answer. It was correct for what I wrote down, but it was not correct for the problem given. So I wanted to go back and just to make a correction to this. So let's start here. So we know that the slope is given by rise over run, okay? Where we have y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So let's say this is point 1 and this is point 2, okay? So that's going to mean this is x1, this is y1, this is x2, and y2, okay? So that's what each of these are going to be. All right, so for y2 minus y1, we're going to have negative 3 minus negative 5. And then for x2 minus x1, we're going to have a 3 minus negative 1. And this is where I made the mistake before. I just had a 3 minus positive 1. It's actually 3 minus negative 1, which drastically changes our answer, right? So we have negative 3 minus negative 5. That's going to give us 3 plus 5 over 3 minus negative 1, which is 3 plus 1, which is going to be, so this is negative 3 plus 5. Negative 3 plus 5 gives us 2. And 3 plus 1 gives us 4. 2 over 4 is 1/2. Okay. So that means that our slope, m, is equal to 1/2. So that means our line is going to be of the form y equals 1/2 x plus b. And now we need to figure out what b is. So here, we're going to plug in one of these 2 points. I'm thinking we could do point 2, 3, and negative 3. So we'll have negative 3 is equal to 1/2 times 3 plus b. Okay? Or this becomes negative 3 is equal to 3 over 2 plus b. So now we can take away 3 over 2. Okay. All right, and let's actually just move this down here. Okay. Didn't budget my space very well. Okay, so if we plug in here, we can, okay, so if we take 3 over 2 away from both sides, we'll have b is equal to negative 3 minus 3 over 2. So to solve this, let's go ahead and write 3, or negative 3, as a fraction over 2. So this is actually negative 6 over 2 because this reduces to negative 3. So negative 6 over 2 minus 3 over 2, okay, which is going to give us negative 9 over 2. Okay, so b is equal to negative 9 over 2, and therefore the form our line is actually going to be y equals 1/2 x minus 9 over 2. Okay. So there we go. There's a correction. This should be the correct answer here. If you find any more mistakes, please point them out to me. We all make mistakes. That is okay. So yeah, and that actually reminds me of a point that I wanted to make about the midterm. If you're really stressing over the midterm, in terms of the grade or anything like that. So typically how I do grading for this is A, you get partial credit for answer. I think I already mentioned that. You get partial credit for partially correct answers. But B, I also only grade I essentially give you more points to score than there are available, if that makes sense, right? So if you go up to the top here, I believe I have it set that this is worth 180 points. I think I added that up all correctly. So let's say it's out of 180. It will probably look a little bit different than that on the actual test, or if it's not, I'll change it later. But typically how it works is, let's say maybe there's 180 points available on the test. I'll typically only grade it out of something like 170, right? The thought behind that is you have 180 points available, and I'm only going to grade 170 of them, right? So that means you can make a little algebraic error like what I made, because we all make mistakes. You shouldn't be penalized for making a tiny mistake. just once or maybe twice, right? So if you make a tiny mistake, you can still expect to get up to 100% on the test. So you're going to have a few buffer points, so to speak, just in case you make a small mistake, because they do happen. So, but as always, if you have any other questions at all, please feel free to email me. And always, if you catch any more errors at all, please email me as soon as possible. So thank you to who pointed this out to me, and have a good rest of your day.